Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. In the last part we got here to Jabu Jabu's belly and did a good portion of it. And now we're going to continue on. Note, you do need to use the Kinesmari to put the to open up that door, because otherwise you can't really stay on that switch, now can ya? Also, get used to this room, because we're going to be here a lot throughout the rest of the part. I still wish the anti-fairies turned into fairies when you hit them with the boomerang in this game, but no, it's sadly not the other games in the series that did that. Almost every game in the series did that, if I recall correctly, right? Huh. Anyway, you're gonna need to switch with that pod, because that's how you go over to this room, which is another one you're gonna want to get used to seeing, because we're going to be here a lot. And now we're back on the third floor. In fact, I should just say, get used to seeing this entire section a lot, because we are going to be here quite often throughout the rest of the dungeon. And over here we got the second switch, which will change the water level. This raises it, I believe, up to the first floor. I should mention that if you're ever doing this dungeon, the water will never be on the third floor. It'll only be on the first two. Also, you know what I just realized? The walls are pulsating. I've actually never noticed that for some reason. Gross. By the way, I should mention, if you ever see me just randomly using my shield, that's probably just me pressing it in time with the music, because, I get bored when I'm playing every now and then, so I just do that to keep myself entertained. Anyway, now that we've raised the water level, we can do some more stuff on this floor, specifically. That was in-specifically. Oh, my grammar just killed itself, apparently. More accurately, we can go over into this room, which has two mini Moldorms, which, well, we kind of need to kill. Apparently that one was eating some scent seeds when it's died, hence the fact to drop some. But for doing that, we get a small key. Note, you're going to need to find the next three small keys in... not in order, but in order to progress on, because if you don't have three keys, I don't recommend progressing. Anyway, now we can dive in over here now that the water's over here. You could have come here when the water was down, but I wouldn't recommend doing so because progression. And then we got a Gacha Seed, one of the last ones in the game, actually. I did look it up off-screen, including the ones that respawn infinitely. There are a total of 31 locations you can get Gacha Seeds. And time for the mini-boss, Anglerfish, who is very easy, though he's immune to your sword at first. What you have to do is hit him with the seed shooter. Preferably scent seeds, because then you don't waste any good effects. And upon doing so, he'll deflate. Then you can just have at him with your sword. Why just that extra air makes him invulnerable to a blade made of metal, I'm not sure. But honestly, he's quite easy. In case you're wondering where the teleports, the mini-boss warp is in this dungeon, because we're in a 2D section right now, it's in the room that we came from, with the staircase that led to this 2D section. Well, actually, I was wrong earlier. Use this one key, but after this... you should probably have three at any point in time. I think. I might be thinking of later on in the dungeon. Either way, we just got the long switch, or long hook rather, which is essentially the long shot. Now our switch hook has a much longer range. That doesn't really change much, but it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. Also, these jellyfish, they've been in a couple of... they were in the previous dungeon as well, I believe. But the thing is with them is that you can't attack them when they're sparking at all. They're very similar to the jellyfish from A Link to the Past, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if they were very similarly programmed. Also, I should mention, normally when you're in the mermaid suit, you have to use items with A, but when you're in 2D sections like this, you can use items with A and B. Because, you know, you don't have the ability to dive, therefore the B button can be used for its intended purpose. Also, this has to be really claustrophobic for Link. Oh well. Oh, great, another kill them all room. And how there was a snake underwater, I'm not sure. Unless we were playing Metal Gear Solid, obviously. Honestly, this is really easy. Just don't get accidentally knocked into the staircase, because then you have to enter the room again. Mind you, like that, actually. When you do so, the enemies won't respawn. They'll just move around a bit. Aside from the flower, that stays in the same place, if I recall correctly. And there's another key. And now we're back in this room. Now where I'm actually heading now is back to where I lowered the water last part. You do need to lower the water again in order to progress. However, once we get to the staircase, I'm actually going to be editing out lowering the water. Case in point, the jump cut right now. So now the water is back on the first floor. Actually, no, there's no water at all. Which we need to do in order to progress. It's weird, this dungeon's actually a lot shorter than I remember it being, but I still hate it. Maybe it's just because I'm actually playing well nowadays. Because I sucked at this well, actually, I sucked at this series in general when I was a kid. Especially Majora's Mask. Oh god, I was terrible at that when I was a kid, whereas now I could beat it with little to no issue aside from the town shooting gallery. Anyway, what we need to do now is, you might have noticed I moved a diamond block just a second ago. We need to move that onto one of these switches, and then Kena Samaria the other one in order to make a chest appear. Because, you know, chests are good. Especially when they contain small keys. Or hearts. That's also a good thing. And now we've come full circle from the beginning of the parts. Let's see, what am I doing now? Oh, that's right, no, I don't remember what I'm doing right now, honestly. Oh, right, I'm using this. I could have used the key into Samario, but I'm gonna need the switch hook coming up anyway. So I just decided to do that. And now I'm back in this room. I just decided to cut those next couple rooms out to save some time. So I raised the water back up to the first floor. Also, there's a fairy in this pot if you ever need it. However, now that we have this long hook, we can come over here as well. Also, these bubbles here, or whatever they're called, they have the same effect as they did in Zelda 1. If they hit you, you won't be able to use your sword for a couple seconds. Thankfully, it's just that, a couple of seconds, nothing else. Unlike Majora's Mask, where that lasts for like 1.5 to 3 minutes. I forget the exact time range in that one. Long enough to be annoying, though, that is for sure. And now we can come over to this switch and raise the water up to the second floor. Also, if you ever want to go backwards, you can just push that block down. Now, you could feasibly unlock that door to the north of me right now to get into that chest right there, but there's 2 other keys in this dungeon that we want to get before we do that, just so we can go through all 3 of those locked doors in a row. Thankfully, though, key number 2 is very close. In fact, it's in this room right here. If my long hook could hit it. And small key number 2. Now, to get number 3 is a bit of a trek. We have to head back down here, first off. And head right near where we got the dungeon map, because that's where the next chest is. Also, the faces on the sparks scare me, because they look really creepy. Actually, they kind of look like the Joker from, what game was... Which version of the Joker does that look like? I can't recall. Probably something from Batman Beyond, considering the way that it flashes. I should go watch Return of the Joker again. That was a really good animated movie. Honestly, the most annoying part about this dungeon, in fact, is just swimming around like that. Especially when your down button is kind of sticky. Not really sticky, more like the fact it just doesn't respond all the time. I guess responsive is not the right word for it. Anyway, it's in this room that we got the last key, thankfully, so let's use that. And get the key. And it's here I'm actually going to jump cut back to this room. Because, well, this is where we need to go next. Honestly, I'm surprised that this dungeon was a lot shorter than I remember it being, because usually I remember dungeon length rather well. Because to this day, certain dungeons still take me the same amount of time they did when I was a kid, like the Water Temple. Whereas Great Bay Temple now takes me maybe an hour and a half at not even an hour and a half, probably close to 45 minutes. Either way, now we can come to this screen and go through this chain of 3 locked doors. And in this chest right here, we got a Gasha Seed. And in here, we got a Mini Moldorm. The best pet ever, obviously. And over here, we got a chest surrounded by torches, which means it's a key item, meaning the boss key. Which means we can now head straight for the boss. Now, the room where the boss is actually a room we've been to before. In fact, to get to it, we need to head back to where the mini-boss warp was. In fact, I probably just could have saved and quit and then used the warp to get there quicker, but I decided to take the longer way for some reason. In fact, why didn't I do that? Wow, I seem like a stupid now. Oh well. And now we can surface up here to get to this little staircase, which leads to this random, well, not really random, this little one-tile-long pathway. This leads to the boss door. If you came here beforehand just via exploring, you would have pretty much been faced with a dead end because you couldn't really progress past here. But now we can go into the boss room again to face Plasmarine. Plasmarine is actually a really easy boss. All he does is move around and shoot pellets at you. You need to use the long hook against him to hit him with the pellets of the opposite color. Usually he'll always fire the color he is opposite, which means hitting him is really easy. Every now and then, especially when he's blue, he'll swim towards you and then electrify himself, which is more of a trap than anything. But honestly, he's really, really easy. Usually jellyfish are in the series, but he's king amongst so. My guess is that's just so they can balance the possible difficulty of the dungeon against him, but still, really, really easy. And for doing that, we get heart container number 14, and essence number 7, and we're done with the water dungeons, thank the Lord. We got the rolling sea in essence of time. The mystical song of the sea roars into a crashing wave that sweeps heroes out into adventure. It also looks like a secret seashell from Link's Awakening to me for some reason. Probably because it's a seashell. The magic conch. Whoa, hello.
Since you seem so relaxed, I've come with news. The Black Tower has already reached the heavens.
Man, they have been busy, haven't they? Wow, they really have been. They've like doubled its height in the past 4 dungeons. Hi, Varen. The Black Tower is finally complete. Powers of darkness, come to me. Oh god, you killed Ambi. Couldn't be that easy, could it? The powers of darkness flow through me. The powers swell. Ha! Even without the powers of young Nehru, I can stop time. Now true darkness comes. The sorrow of people shall be delivered to me, lighting my flame of sorrow. Well, that's, it's not good. Oh, guys, you got stoned again, really? Ooh, I guess I know it's Wabbit season. How are they okay, for a second there I thought they were floating, and then I saw them crash down. Whew. Gravity isn't all non-powerful. None can stop Varen now. You can only wait for the flame of sorrow to light. What a view! All humanity can feel the sorrow. Well, that's not good. Saving Nehru isn't enough. Varen's deeds have changed the world. Link, I cannot hear the last essence at all, but it must be somewhere in Labrina. I'm relying on you, Link. Alrighty, well, that's a thing. We have no leads. Except for the fact this guy's giving us a Zora scale, which has to do something, right? Well, we'll find out next time. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 20, we'll see if we can find any clues towards the next location, along with seeing if we can get heart piece number 12. See you guys then.